Hi, my name is Chad Campbell, and I'm going to read a poem called Ashmolean Rings. Ashmolean Rings. People like clay less than painting. The museum's pushback east wing is not where the best windows are, but the cabinets are crowded. Vases cluster behind their glass like orphans waiting for a train. A small flock of glances hovers before the cordoned off display, while crowds push inside the forest painted in the adjacent room. Dreams collected in this fork's tines, what its owner, a bishop, craved, the vows to himself he bandaged carefully each morning, the red stains of beets on his wooden teeth. Unlike the painting, where we can always see the painter, dimly losing bet after bet to time. We are given little glimpses, can put them down to the sunlight, the ring's shadow under a ring, a ghost finger jutting forward, and 50 years they wore the ring, erased whenever daylight drifts through the window, disfiguring what the bishop heard after dusk. Gold is honey, but fat as slugs. Some rings look too big for fingers. My watch with the glowing numbers. How a child played with her toy horse in the final evenings of Rome. Every time that we lose something or something is lifted away, the shadow is left behind it. Kids are fat with time as butter, but old men are mostly shadows. The pieces move across the board like midnight crossing a table where light perched to wash its feathers. The sun sets. Painters place their bets. Bishops swim from the tines of forks, and the darkness rinses its tongue in preparation for eating today's heart out of tomorrow. It's not a practical table. It looks like a peacock's bright tail. Each object a constellation. Each has a violin's bow held against its face. You look to make out what song the player will play. Glint of silver, glint of a life. It all goes under the hillside until some little girl fishes a garnet feather from the dirt. In the red washes of the long panel painting of a fox hunt, 10 riders ride into the dark, except for one who is riding away from the trees with a hand held up like a lantern, shining. The dark swallows. He lost his ring. His love lies in another room full of paintings, but he keeps on lighting the impossible length it would take to break from the paint. At the center of the forest, the fox pants in a hollow root. The leaves shiver. Looking away, distracted by all the sunlight, the painter dashes between trees and continues with his painting. But staring into the canvas, unable to do more than stare, to run a finger over their lips in the symbol of a lemon, the painting makes itself a ghost of the figure at its window. Turning around, looking outside, our own end remains hard to see, just the birds pulling out the pins that have pinned down the scenery. The bishop sits mute with his fork. The hunter holds his lamp so still the paint around his hand is cracked. That intruder shouldn't be here, but he's come along with us. However the curtains might part, however the hunter might try warming his hands by the firelight, time drifted in the paint and froze. A sun held just under the tongue, a candle's glow against the teeth. The painter smiles into the frame. The hunter's lamp is lit with eyes. It's only a mile to the Thames, past the hard bones of the bishop, who wouldn't, looking up, have known fire meditated in his floor. By the time it might get to us, the smoke is already blown off from the fires on the horizon. What was, what is, but cannot stay. The old song keeps alternating like sound and silence on the page. If it's lost, then it is a world, and this one moves a bit quicker than the string of newborn goslings, and slower than the graying weir losing its way under the oaks. A young couple labors their boat up the hillside with the canal as night gathers inside the locks. What is left behind is as slight as what shadows are left to sing, from lamps in the forest heart and the windows that blink open in these old Ashmolean rings.